What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. Yes, we are back with the transfer news update, so if you enjoy these videos, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And Liverpool are front runners in the race to sign Jude Bellingham, the Borussia Dortmund huge English talent who dreams about playing in the Premier League, and his idol was Steven Gerrard growing up. And the Mirror newspaper is reporting that because the Premier League is Liverpool rivals in the Premier League, Manchester United, Chelsea, Manchester City are obsessed with signing Erling Haaland. That could help Liverpool sign Jude Bellingham instead, because at the moment, of course, Liverpool would love to sign Erling Haaland, but I think his incredible wages and the fact that his agent is Mino Raiola, an agent that I don't think Jurgen Klopp would like to work with or even talk with, is Erling Haaland's agent, Raiola. I think we have a bigger chance of signing Bellingham. And yes, Dortmund would ask a huge amount of money for Bellingham, but probably Liverpool can negotiate a transfer fee that works for Dortmund and for Liverpool as well. And because Liverpool have midfielders like Henderson and Thiago, regular starters who are above 30 years old, and also Fabinho is 28, Liverpool want to sign a young midfielder who could play for Liverpool for the foreseeable future, for the next 10 years. And Jude Bellingham at just 18 or 19 years old to bolster Liverpool's midfield would be the perfect signing. And he has added goals and assists to his name. He's regularly scoring goals and getting assists in the Bundesliga and in the Champions League. But he also courted controversy after criticizing the German FA choosing a referee for the Bayern Dortmund game who was involved in match fixing before, and who was actually suspended for 6 months in a match fixing scandal in Germany. And he just asked the questions, why the German FA appoint a referee like that to manage or to referee the biggest game in German football, their Klassiker as they call it. And Dortmund got very, very harsh decisions from the referee. They got a penalty, they received a penalty against them, which I don't think was a penalty. Mats Hummels handballs it, but it was purely accidental. And also basically the referee made all kinds of mistakes which benefited Bayern Munich. And I think Bellingham probably echoed what was said in the Dortmund dressing room, and Dortmund sent him out to front the media because he is already very mature, very articulate, and I think he is also a very down-to-earth person, somebody who would fit into the Liverpool ethos. The Liverpool dressing room requires to be a certain kind of character. If you are not a smart and kind person, Jurgen Klopp won't even entertain the idea of signing you to Liverpool. So I think Jude Bellingham fits the Liverpool playing style, and he also fits he's the kind of character, he's the kind of personality that would fit into the Liverpool dressing room very nicely. And that's also important at Liverpool. It's not just only about what you can do on the football pitch, it's also about how you behave, how you act, how you treat others off the pitch. And Jude Bellingham certainly fits the mold, and he's one of my favorite young players right now in world football. I love watching him play. I also like listening to his interviews. As I said, he's really down to earth. And the Mirror newspaper is saying that Jurgen Klopp has not been put off by Jude Bellingham's asking price or Dortmund's asking price for Bellingham, which could be around 80 to 90 million pounds. Dortmund initially paid 20 million for him, which will rise to 30 million. And it would make Liverpool's most expensive signing, Jude Bellingham, at 90 million pounds. But even at 80, Virgil van Dijk is our record signing, and he costs 75 million. Do I seriously think that Bellingham is worth 80 million? Well, how transfer fees work and how accounting works at football clubs is you amortize the transfer fee throughout the player's contract. So if Bellingham signs a 5-year contract, then just divide that 80 or 90 million into 5 parts, and that's the cost of the transfer each season. But also, if Bellingham stays at Liverpool for longer, and who knows, he might fall in love with Liverpool Football Club and he might stay for the next 10 years, then it becomes a bargain transfer, because you get service out of a player for 10 years who could score a lot of goals for Liverpool in that time, and he could even become as big a legend as Steven Gerrard or Jordan Henderson one day. At least that's the dream, and that's what you would want from a young English talent, English goal-scoring midfielder to come in and to make his mark in the history of Liverpool FC. And I mean, Jadon Sancho, he was rumoured to cost £100 million, but in the end he went for £73 million to Manchester United. So maybe Liverpool can negotiate the price down a little bit and pay a similar transfer fee for Jude Bellingham. And Bellingham was fined at £34,000 by the German FA after his comments on the referee. He was fined for unsportsmanlike behaviour after the referee turned down Dortmund's penalty appeals before giving Bayern Munich a spot kick for Hummels' handball, which Lewandowski scored, and that was the winning goal. And Dortmund always feel that they are up against it when Bayern Munich have so much money and they have so much influence in the Bundesliga. I mean, their biggest rivals, Leipzig, for the title, they got Leipzig's manager and two of their best players signed for Bayern Munich. So what more do you want to have evidence that Bayern Munich just rules German football and rules the Bundesliga? They got the manager, and also they got Upamecano and another Leipzig midfielder. I can't remember his name. He's Austrian off the top of my head. And I think Erling Haaland should be on Liverpool's radar as well, because his release clause is just 64 million and Liverpool can't sign both. But I don't see Liverpool matching the wages that Haaland wants, because we would have to give a pay rise or a wage rise to almost every single player. I can only see maybe Manchester United and Man City paying Haaland what he wants. I mean, his wages, he asks for like £500,000 weekly wages, which would make him the highest paid player in the whole of the Premier League, and that is quite ridiculous. When Haaland, he's a big talent, don't get me wrong, he's a world-class player already. He hasn't proven himself in the Premier League yet. So to come in for a new player and to get the biggest wages at such a young age is a little bit too much for me. But of course Liverpool won't be able to sign both Haaland and Bellingham, and I want Liverpool to sign Haaland, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying what I feel is realistic, and I don't think Liverpool would want to go into this bidding war for Haaland's wages with Man United and Man City, who just have more money than Liverpool right now. And Bellingham, this is what he said about the referee after the Dortmund-Bayern game. You give a referee that has a match fixed before, the biggest game in Germany, what do you expect? For me, it wasn't penalty. Hummels is not even looking at the ball and he's fighting to get the ball and it hits him. You can look at a lot of decisions in the game that went against us, and I can understand why Bellingham feels hard done by, because as I said, you want a fair referee, and that wasn't fair refereeing decisions. The referee shouldn't have just decided the biggest game in German football and making calls when the decisions were like 50-50. He wasn't sure, I think, whether it was a penalty or not a penalty, and then you can't give those, in my opinion, in such a big game. And there is even a theory that Liverpool could agree a transfer fee with Dortmund and also let them keep Bellingham for another season so they don't lose two of their biggest stars in the same transfer window, because I think we can safely assume that Erling Haaland will move in the summer. I mean, loads of clubs can pay that 64 million release clause. That is Haaland's release clause. And I don't think, of course, Dortmund would want to lose Bellingham in the same transfer window as well, because they would need a huge rebuilding job. But if Bellingham stays at Dortmund another season, there is no harm done really, because he will play almost every game at Dortmund. And then when Henderson and Thiago and Milner are a little bit older, then Bellingham can come in and straight away fight for a starting place at Liverpool. And you don't want Bellingham to just come in and sit on the bench a lot of the times. Of course, Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp rotate the midfielders a lot, but I don't think Bellingham right now can get ahead of Henderson or Thiago or Fabinho into Liverpool midfield, because those are seasoned professional players, and Bellingham is still a young player, developing, growing, learning his trade. But I think that next season or the season after next season, Bellingham could have a big part to play in Liverpool's midfield. And if the funds are available to Liverpool in the summer, it would make a lot of sense to recruit a talent like Bellingham who fits the age profile, he fits the English mold, he's a huge talent. The reality of the situation is that Bellingham's contract runs until 2025, so it's another 3 seasons. Dortmund will have total control when it comes to asking for a transfer fee. And that's where the difficulty lies. On the other hand, if you have 80 or 90 million, let's just go for Erling Haaland and maybe bump up his wages a little bit, because Erling Haaland also is a player that I would love to see Liverpool sign, because as I said, he's a generational talent, he's as good as Kylian Mbappe, and next summer will be huge when it comes to the transfer fees. The next 2 big talents in world football, Erling Haaland and Mbappe, will both move in the next summer transfer window, and the big question is who gets him. I think Haaland will come to the Premier League because the Premier League just suits him and suits his physical, like really intense playing style. I think the Premier League is the perfect league for Haaland. It's just a big question of who gets him. If Man City gets him, it will be incredibly difficult for anybody else to win the Premier League title, at least until Pep Guardiola is the Man City manager, and it's rumored that he will stay 1 more season after this one at Manchester City. And Mo Salah became the 3rd Liverpool player to score in 5 consecutive seasons at least 20 goals. And that is absolutely incredible and absolutely remarkable, really. And also he has another record. The 7 goals that he scored in Champions League group stages is the most goals by any Liverpool player in the group stage of the Champions League competition, which is also brilliant. And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain talked about the mentality of Liverpool in the AC Milan game, which was frankly a dead rubber. Liverpool have already won the group, but he said there's no point jumping on a plane to fly 2 hours and then not try to win a game of football. You saw how many Liverpool fans we had there as well, which is unbelievable, and it's not right for us to turn up and not put in the right level of performance. We are here to win. Jurgen Klopp constantly reminds us a lot that as human beings, complacency can slip in with all of us, but it's our job to not let that happen, or at least limit the amount that it does happen, and we knew what we needed to do. And Liverpool the attitude was absolutely perfect. And Nat Phillips also talked about his Cruyff turn, where he sent 2 AC Milan players to the bakery with that Cruyff turn. He said there was no real thought process behind it. It was more of a split decision in the moment, an instinctive move, and thankfully it paid off, and I'm looking forward to watching it back. And if there is a GIF version of that, he is sending it over to all his mates back home, which is brilliant. That's what you want. You want the Liverpool players to have a sense of humor and banter between themselves and also between their friends as well. And Michael Owen claimed that Liverpool don't really need to make a January signing when the Africa Cup of Nations comes around, because Firmino will be back, Jota hopefully will be still fit, and we also will have Origi, who is on form, and Takumi Minamino, who is also playing well this season. He said a lot of people were thinking that with Mo Salah and Mane going to the Africa Cup of Nations, Liverpool were going to buy someone. If you get Firmino back fit, you've got Jota firing on all cylinders and Origi, and then you've got substitutions like Minamino. I don't think for the sake of a few games, I don't think Jurgen Klopp will buy anybody in January. I would stay at a club like Liverpool if I was Origi. Play half the amount of time, but when you play, it's real, and you are playing for big prizes in big stadiums, in big games against the best teams in the best competitions. What are you going to be remembered for when you are 50, 60 years old? He will be remembered for about 5 different moments in a Liverpool shirt, and he will go down as a cult hero and maybe even a club legend, Divock Origi, that's for sure. And that wraps up today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun recording it, and thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. Good night.